Die vollständige Wortsammlung findest du über den Link in der Beschreibung. Kopiere sie mit einem Klick und lerne mit smarten Lerntools auf wordbyword.io.
Sequence. In sequence. Abfolge. Displace. Displace workers. Verdrängen. Compile. Compile the report. Zusammenstellen. Underlie. Principles underlie the theory. Zugrunde liegen. Academy. The Academy of Sciences. Akademie. Intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Intelligenz. Refine. Refine your approach. Verfeinern. Coincide. Events coincide. Zusammenfallen. Subordinate. A subordinate role. Untergeordnet. Estimate. We estimate the cost at 1 million. Schätzen. Partner. Business partner. Partner. Complex. This is a complex problem. Komplex. Physical. Physical activity. Physisch. Alter. Alter the plan. Ändern. Depress. Depress the button. Drücken. Expert. Consult an expert. Experte. Section. Read the first section. Abschnitt. Confront. Confront the issue. Konfrontieren. Network. Build your network. Netzwerk. Ministry. The ministry announced. Ministerium. Comprise. The team comprises experts. Umfassen. Emphasis. Put emphasis on quality. Betonung. Integrate. Integrate the systems. Integrieren. Constrain. Budget constraints limit options. Einschränken. Series. A series of events. Serie. Tradition. Respect local traditions. Tradition. Substitute. Substitute the ingredient. Ersetzen. Maintain. Maintain high standards. Aufrechterhalten. Derive. The word derives from Latin. Ableiten. Scenario. Best case scenario. Scenario. Proceed. Please proceed with the presentation. Fortfahren. Capacity. Full capacity. Kapazität. Consent. Get their consent first. Zustimmung. Chapter. Read the next chapter. Kapitel. Impact. The impact was significant. Auswirkung. Tape. Adhesive tape. Band. Enormous. Enormous potential. Enorm. Adjacent. Adjacent areas. Angrenzend. Edit. Edit the document. Bearbeiten. Relax. Relax the rules. Entspannen. Initial. The initial response was positive. Anfänglich. Resource. Natural resources are limited. Ressource. Sole. The sole purpose. Einzig. Focus. Focus on the main issue. Fokus. Immigrate. They immigrated last year. Einwandern. Medium. Communication medium. Medium. Preliminary. Preliminary results. Vorläufig. Consensus. Reach a consensus. Konsens. Team. Work as a team. Team. Discriminate. Do not discriminate. Diskriminieren. Ultimate. The ultimate goal. Ultimativ. Dominate. One company dominates the market. Dominieren. Vehicle. Electric vehicle. Fahrzeug. Portion. A large portion. Teil. Practitioner. Medical practitioner. Praktiker. Assess. We must assess the situation. Bewerten. Economy. The economy is growing. Wirtschaft. Appropriate. Choose an appropriate response. Angemessen. Obtain. How did you obtain this information? Erhalten. Evaluate. Evaluate your performance. Bewerten. Temporary. Temporary solution. Vorübergehend. Liberal. Liberal policies. Liberal. Publication. Recent publications. Veröffentlichung. Migrate. Birds migrate south. Migrieren. Enterprise. Private enterprise. Unternehmen. Stress. Stress the importance. Betonen. Anticipate. Anticipate problems. Erwarten. Concentrate. Concentrate on the task. konzentrieren. Consequent. The consequent effects were severe. Folgend. Objective. The main objective. Ziel. Feature. An important feature of the product. Merkmal. Indicate. The results indicate success. Hinweisen. Hypothesis. Test the hypothesis. Hypothese. Positive. Stay positive. Positiv. Outcome. The outcome was positive. Ergebnis. Flexible. Flexible approach. Flexibel. Appreciate. Appreciate your help. Schätzen. Technique. Advanced technique. Technik. Convert. Convert currency. Umwandeln. Phase. The first phase. Phase. Priority. Top priority. Priorität. Comprehensive. Comprehensive analysis. Umfassend. Visual. Visual aids help. Visuell. Deduce. We can deduce from this. Ableiten. Minor. A minor issue. Gering. Violate. Violate the rules. Verletzen. Attain. Attain your goals. Erreichen. Presume. I presume you agree. Vermuten. Circumstance. Under these circumstances. Umstand. Paragraph. Read the paragraph. Absatz. Enhance. Enhance performance. Verbessern. Amend. Amend the law. Ändern. Prohibit. Smoking is prohibited. Verbieten. Clause. Contract clause. Klausel. Select. Select the best option. Auswählen. Abstract. Abstract concepts. Abstrakt. Incidence. The incidence of disease. Häufigkeit. Legislate. Parliament legislates new laws. Gesetze erlassen. Pursue. Pursue your goals. Verfolgen. Entity. A separate legal entity. Einheit. Subsequent. Subsequent events. Nachfolgend. Thereby. Thereby reducing costs. Dadurch. commodity. Basic commodity. Ware. Undertake. Undertake a project. Unternehmen. Commence. Commence the meeting. Beginnen. Enable. Technology enables progress. Ermöglichen. Media. Social media influence. Medien. Principle. The principal cause. Haupt. Mental. Mental health matters. Geistig. Currency. Foreign currency. Währung. Similar. The results are similar. Ähnlich. Contemporary. Contemporary art. Zeitgenössisch. Devote. Devote time to. Widmen. Regime. The new regime. Regime. Apparent. It is apparent that. Offensichtlich. Sector. The private sector is growing. Sektor. Coordinate. Coordinate the activities. Koordinieren. Environment. Protect the environment. Umwelt. Bond. Strong bond. Bindung. Area. This area requires further research. Bereich. Link. There is a link between them. Verbindung. Mature. A mature approach. Reif. Colleague. A colleague suggested. Kollege. Theme. The main theme. Thema. Interpret. How do you interpret this data? Interpretieren. Obvious. The answer is obvious. Offensichtlich. Complement. Complement each other. Ergänzen. Survey. Conduct a survey. Umfrage. Require. This requires careful attention. Erfordern. Resolve. Resolve the conflict. Lösen. Debate. Public debate. Debatte. Significant. This is a significant discovery. Bedeutend. Issue. This is a serious issue. Problem. Sufficient. Sufficient evidence. Ausreichend. Exhibit. The museum exhibits art. Ausstellen.
Sum.
The total sum. Summe. Ethnic. Ethnic diversity is important. Ethnisch. Terminal. Bus terminal. Endstation. Adequate. Adequate resources. Angemessen. Create. Artists create beautiful works. Erschaffen. Assume. We can assume this is correct. Annehmen. Assign. Assign tasks. Zuweisen. Controversy. Avoid controversy. Kontroverse. Category. Sort items by category. Kategorie. Retain. Retain employees. Behalten. Principle. This is a fundamental principle. Prinzip. Somewhat. Somewhat different. Etwas. Channel. Communication channel. Kanal. Occupy. Troops occupy the area. Besetzen. Likewise. Likewise, others agree. Ebenso. Parameter. Set the parameters. Parameter. Component. A key component of the system. Bestandteil. Symbol. A powerful symbol. Symbol. Final. This is the final decision. Endgültig. Sophisticated. Sophisticated technology. Raffiniert. Imply. What does this imply? Implizieren. Expand. Expand your knowledge. Erweitern.
Via.
Via email. Über. Virtual. Virtual meeting. Virtuell. Interval. At regular intervals. Intervall. Submit. Submit your application. Einreichen. Remove. Remove obstacles. Entfernen. Regulate. Laws regulate behavior. Regulieren. Manipulate. Do not manipulate data. Manipulieren. Accompany. Accompany the delegation. Begleiten. Source. Cite your sources properly. Quel. Considerable. Considerable progress was made. Beträchtlich. Mediate. Mediate the dispute. Vermitteln. Contribute. Everyone should contribute. Beitragen. Task. Complete the task. Aufgabe. Aspect. Consider every aspect. Aspekt. React. How did they react? Reagieren. Correspond. The results correspond to expectations. Entsprechen. Compute. Computers compute data. Berechnen. Discrete. Discrete categories. Diskret. Predict. Hard to predict. Vorhersagen. Conform. Conform to standards. Entsprechen. Purchase. They purchased new equipment. Kaufen. Transmit. Transmit data. Übertragen. Equivalent. No equivalent exists. Gleichwertig. Clarify. Clarify your position. Klären. Cease. Cease operations. Aufhören. Demonstrate. Demonstrate your skills. Demonstrieren. Phenomenon. A common phenomenon. Phänomen. Confer. Confer a degree. Verleihen. Motive. What was the motive? Motiv. Previous. Based on previous experience. Vorherig. Orient. Orient yourself. Orientieren. Effect. Weather affects our mood. Beeinflussen. Policy. The new policy takes effect tomorrow. Politik. Export. The country exports oil. Export. Site. The construction site is busy. Standort. Approach. This approach is more effective. Ansatz. Parallel. Parallel developments. Parallel. Benefit. There are many benefits to this. Vorteil. Dimension. 3 dimensions. Dimension. Mechanism. The mechanism is complex. Mechanismus. Trend. Current trends. Trend. Suspend. Suspend the rules. Aussetzen. Specific. Be more specific, please. Spezifisch. Manual. Read the manual. Handbuch. Contrast. In contrast to. Kontrast. Radical. Radical changes. Radical. Instance. For instance. Beispiel. Sphere. In the political sphere. Sphäre. Income. Her income increased last year. Einkommen. Coherent. A coherent argument. Kohärent. Community. The community supports the project. Gemeinschaft. Primary. The primary goal is primär. Norm. Social norms vary. Norm. Unique. A unique opportunity. Einzigartig. Ambiguous. Ambiguous statement. Mehrdeutig. Crucial. A crucial decision. Entscheidend. Diverse. Diverse opinions. Vielfältig. Scheme. Pension scheme. Schema. Criteria. Meet all the criteria. Kriterien. Rely. Rely on experts. Verlassen. Incline. I am inclined to agree. Neigen. Core. The core issue is Kern. Journal. Publish in a scientific journal. Zeitschrift. Generation. The younger generation. Generation. Neutral. Stay neutral. Neutral. Utilize. Utilize resources. Nutzen. Cooperate. Cooperate with others. Kooperieren. Element. A key element of success. Element. Initiate. Initiate the process. Initiieren. Persist. Problems persist. Bestehen. Append. Append the document. Anhängen. Participate. Everyone should participate. Teilnehmen. Exclude. Do not exclude anyone. Ausschließen. Reinforce. Reinforce the message. Verstärken. Explicit. Be explicit about your needs. Ausdrücklich. Restrict. Access is restricted. Einschränken. Incorporate. Incorporate feedback. Einbeziehen. Prospect. Good prospects. Aussicht. Trace. Trace the origin. Spur. Transport. Transport goods. Transportieren. Mode. Change the mode. Modus. Duration. For the duration. Dauer. Adjust. Adjust the settings. Anpassen. Vision. A clear vision. Vision. Implicate. Evidence implicates the suspect. Verwickeln. Equate. Do not equate wealth with happiness. Gleichsetzen. Analogy. Draw an analogy. Analogie. Encounter. Encounter difficulties. Begegnen. Available. The information is available online. Verfügbar. Research. More research is needed. Forschung. Investigate. Investigate the cause. Untersuchen. Achieve. She achieved her goals. Erreichen. Concurrent. Concurrent events. Gleichzeitig. Vary. Prices vary by location. Variieren. Incentive. Financial incentives help. Anreiz. Passive. Passive income. Passiv. Dynamic. Dynamic environment. Dynamisch. Evident. It is evident that changes are needed. Offensichtlich. Intrinsic. Intrinsic motivation. Intrinsisch. Transform. Transform the industry. Verwandeln. Conduct. Conduct the experiment carefully. Durchführen. Deny. Deny the allegations. Leugnen. Extract. Extract information. Extrahieren. Guarantee. We guarantee quality. Garantieren. Consume. We consume too much energy. Verbrauchen. Simulate. Simulate the conditions. Simulieren. Labor. Labor costs are rising. Arbeit. Uniform. Uniform standards. Einheitlich. Release. Release the report. Freigeben. Hierarchy. The corporate hierarchy. Hierarchie. Perspective. From my perspective. Perspektive. Authority. The authority confirmed the news. Autorität. License. Obtain a license. Lizenz. Maximize. Maximize efficiency. Maximieren. Rigid. Rigid rules. Star. Overlap. The areas overlap. Überlappen. Reverse. Reverse the trend. Umkehren. Device. Electronic device. Gerät. Finance. Finance is a complex field. Finanzen. Successor. The successor was named Nachfolger. Method. Use the correct method. Methode. Fundamental. A fundamental principle. Grundlegend. Decline. Decline the offer. Ablehnen. Item. Each item on the list. Artikel. Challenge. Challenge assumptions. Herausfordern. Unify. Unify the groups. Vereinigen. Factor. Consider all the factors. Faktor. Denote. The symbol denotes. Bezeichnen. Compatible. Compatible systems. Kompatibel. Locate. Locate the source. Lokalisieren. Injure. He was injured in the accident. Verletzen. Foundation. The foundation supports education. Stiftung. Perceive. How do you perceive the situation? Wahrnehmen. Label. Read the label. Etikett. Detect. Detect errors. Erkennen. Conscious. Conscious decision. Bewusst. Sustain. Sustain growth. Aufrechterhalten. Attribute. Key attributes. Attribut. Identify. We need to identify the problem. Identifizieren. Recover. Recover from illness. Erholen. Region. The region is mountainous. Region. Display. Display the results. Anzeigen. Constant. Keep the temperature constant. Konstant. Military. Military service. Militärisch. Accurate. Accurate data. Genau. Automate. Automate the process. Automatisieren. Highlight. Highlight the key points. Hervorheben. Legal. Seek legal advice. Rechtlich. Statistic. Official statistics. Statistik. Establish. They established new rules. Etablieren. Summary. In summary. Zusammenfassung. Framework. Within this framework. Rahmen. Author. The author claims. Autor. Corporate. Corporate responsibility matters. Unternehmerisch. Supplement. Supplement your diet. Ergänzen. Acquire. They acquired new skills. Erwerben. Transit. Public transit. Durchfahrt. Finite. Finite resources. Endlich. Status. Current status. Status. Data. The data supports our theory. Daten. Odd. Odd behavior. Seltsam. Random. Random selection. Zufällig. Prior. Prior experience required. Vorherig. Notion. The notion is outdated. Vorstellung. Classic. Classic literature. Klassisch. Alternative. Consider alternative solutions. Alternative. Arbitrary. Arbitrary decision. Willkürlich. Ensure. Ensure everything is ready. Sicherstellen. Context. Consider the context of the statement. Kontext. Secure. Secure your data. Sichern. Layer. Multiple layers exist. Schicht. Implement. Implement the changes. Umsetzen. Conflict. Resolve the conflict. Konflikt. Scope. Within the scope. Umfang. Access. Access to information. Zugang. Differentiate. Differentiate between. Unterscheiden. Revise. Revise the plan. Überarbeiten. Collapse. Economic collapse. Zusammenbrechen. Ratio. The ratio is important. Verhältnis. Quote. Quote the source. Zitieren. Promote. Promote healthy habits. Fördern. Design. The design is innovative. Design. Transfer. Transfer the files. Übertragen. Fund. They fund research projects. Finanzieren. plus. Plus additional benefits. Plus. Intermediate. At an intermediate level. Mittlere. Offset. Offset the costs. Ausgleichen. Deviate. Deviate from the plan. Abweichen. Precise. Be precise. Präzise. Target. Set a target. Ziel. Formula. Apply the correct formula. Formel. Empirical. Empirical evidence. Empirisch. Individual. Each individual is unique. Individuum. Ideology. Political ideology differs. Ideologie. Integrity. Maintain integrity. Integrität. Psychology. Study psychology. Psychologie. Visible. Clearly visible. Sichtbar. Annual. Annual report. Jährlich. Thesis. Defend your thesis. These. Dispose. Dispose of waste. Entsorgen. Distribute. They distribute food to the needy. Verteilen. Administrate. He administrates the department. Verwalten. Brief. A brief summary. Kurz. Reject. Reject the proposal. Ablehnen. Specify. Specify your requirements. Angeben. Bulk. Buy in bulk. Masse. Comment. Leave a comment. Kommentar. Lecture. Attend a lecture. Vorlesung. Period. Over a long period of time. Zeitraum. Insight. Valuable insights emerged. Einblick. Bias. Avoid bias. Voreingenommenheit. Contradict. The data contradicts. Widersprechen. Subsidy. Government subsidy. Subvention. Domestic. Domestic market. Inländisch. Acknowledge. Acknowledge the contribution. Anerkennen. Constitute. This constitutes a major change. Darstellen. Institute. The institute conducts research. Institut. Enforce. Enforce the rules. Durchsetzen. Mutual. Mutual respect. Gegenseitig. Negate. This negates the argument. Verneinen. Overseas. Overseas expansion. Übersee. Analyze. We need to analyze the data carefully. Analysieren. Straightforward. A straightforward approach. Unkompliziert. Function. What is the function of this device? Funktion. Justification. What is the justification? Rechtfertigung. Structure. The structure is complex. Struktur. Internal. Internal communication. Intern. Voluntary. Voluntary participation. Freiwillig. Intervene. The government intervened. Eingreifen. Output. Increase output. Ausgabe. Chemical. Chemical reaction. Chemisch. Relevant. This information is relevant. Relevant. Convince. Convince the audience. Überzeugen. Reside. They reside in Berlin. Wohnen. Confine. Confine to one area. Beschränken. Advocate. Advocate for change. Befürworten. Modify. Modify the design. Modifizieren. Nevertheless. Nevertheless, we continued. Dennoch. Theory. The theory was proven wrong. Theorie. Shift. A shift in attitude. Verschiebung. Revolution. Industrial revolution. Revolution. Protocol. Follow the protocol. Protokoll. Minimize. Minimize risk. Minimieren. Stable. Stable conditions. Estabil. Globe. Around the globe. Globus. Technology. Modern technology. Technologie. Cycle. Economic cycle. Zyklus. Allocate. Allocate resources. Zuweisen. Inspect. Inspect the premises. Inspizieren. Project. Start a new project. Projekt. Cite. Cite your sources. Zitieren. Minimal. Minimal impact. Minimal. convene, convene a meeting, einberufen, emerge, new trends emerge, auftauchen, index, check the index, Index, option, consider all options, Option, role, what is your role in the project? Rolle, schedule, follow the schedule, Zeitplan, qualitative, qualitative research, qualitativ, welfare, social welfare, Wohlfahrt, define, how do you define success? Definieren, respond, please respond to the email, antworten, enumerate, enumerate the items, aufzählen, volume, volume 1, Band, potential, there is great potential here, Potenziell, range, a wide range of options, Bereich, seek, seek professional help, suchen, rational, a rational decision, rational, concept, the concept is difficult to grasp, Konzept, tense, past tense, Zeitform, assist, can I assist you? Unterstützen, pose, this poses a threat, darstellen, generate, generate new ideas, erzeugen, version, latest version, Version, predominant, the predominant view, vorherrschend, domain, in this domain, Bereich, insert, insert the data, einfügen, occur, earthquakes occur frequently here, auftreten, image, the company image improved, Bild, topic, choose a topic, Thema, undergo, undergo changes, durchmachen, eventual, the eventual outcome was positive, schließlich, conclude, we conclude that, schließen, medical, medical treatment, medizinisch, precede, what preceded this event, vorangehen, illustrate, illustrate with examples, veranschaulichen, conceive, conceive an idea, sich vorstellen. Proportion. In proportion to. Verhältnis. Innovation. Foster innovation. Innovation. Philosophy. Study philosophy. Philosophie. Monitor. Monitor progress. Überwachen. Accumulate. Accumulate wealth. Ansammeln. Revenue. Increase revenue. Einnahmen. Commission. The commission investigated. Kommission. Whereas others disagree. Während. Restore. Restore order. Wiederherstellen. Input. Provide your input. Eingabe. Drama. Political drama. Drama. Capable. Capable of achieving. Fähig. Contrary. On the contrary. Gegenteil. Accommodate. Accommodate guests. Unterbringen. Impose. Impose restrictions. Auferlegen. Involve. The project involves many people. Einbeziehen. Distinct. Two distinct approaches exist. Unterschiedlich. Credit. She received credit for her work. Kredit. Aggregate. Aggregate the data. Aggregieren. Ongoing. Ongoing research. Laufend. Attach. Attach the file. Anhängen. Logic. Use logic to solve problems. Logik. Chart. Create a chart. Diagramm. Culture. Respect other cultures. Kultur. Confirm. Confirm the booking. Bestätigen. Process. The process takes several weeks. Prozess. Civil. Civil rights. Zivil. Widespread. Widespread use. Weit verbreitet. Strategy. Develop a good strategy. Strategie. Valid. A valid argument. Gültig. Couple. A couple of days. Paar. Draft. Review the draft. Entwurf. Construct. They constructed a new building. Konstruieren. Compensate. Compensate for the loss. Entschädigen. Percent. Sales increased by 10%. Prozent. Major. This is a major achievement. Größer. Interact. Students interact with teachers. Interagieren. Technical. Technical support. Technisch. Contract. They signed a contract. Vertrag. Document. Document all changes. Dokumentieren. Decade. Over the past decade. Jahrzehnt. Panel. The panel discussed. Gremium. Exceed. Exceed expectations. Überschreiten. Invest. Invest in your education. Investieren. Adapt. Adapt to changes. Anpassen. Overall. Overall performance improved. Insgesamt. Intense. Intense competition exists. Intensiv. Normal. This is completely normal. Normal. Reveal. Reveal the truth. Enthüllen. Consist. The team consists of experts. Bestehen. Error. Correct the error. Fehler. Paradigm. A paradigm shift. Paradigma. Trigger. Trigger a response. Auslösen. Diminish. Diminish in size. Verringern. Convention. By convention. Konvention. Text. Analyze the text. Text.